What's going on, everybody? Welcome to part 3. It is the next day, so we're going to start where we left off from yesterday. So for today's objective, we are going to get the valve cover painted and hopefully get this thing done. If not, we'll continue this tomorrow. So let's go ahead and get started. So I got my brush right here, so I'm just gonna lay it down. Just pour it all over. Just gonna wipe it with the paintbrush. Make sure you get every spot. Try not to miss any spots. Alright guys, so that should be good enough. So now we're just gonna let it sit for like 10 minutes and then we're gonna hose it down. It's gonna take quite a few coats to get it all the way down to the bare metal, so I'll catch you guys in 10 minutes. Alright, let's go ahead and spray this thing down. Alright guys, second coat. So while we're waiting for the paint stripper to do its thing, we are going to take off the studs off the old head and put it on the B20. So what I like about these studs, these are aftermarket studs. What I like about them is that on the tip, it's literally Allen head, so I can just take them off with this ratchet, which make it super easy for me. So let's get started. Alright guys, so I got them all off. I'm just going to compare, like, I guess you can call this OEM and the aftermarket one. As you can see, the aftermarket one is a lot longer and it has the hex head or Allen head, whatever you want to call it, which makes it super easy to take off and on. So that is the difference. So let's start putting them on. Alright guys, so now we can start putting on the cam gears. So see these keys? Do not lose these keys because they are what holds your cam gear in place. So this is the exhaust side. On my old head, it's marked X for exhaust, and the exhaust side is on this side. So alright guys, so I think it's been a little over 20 minutes and it looked like it worked a little bit. So this is going to be the last coat I'm going to do, and then I'm going to sand it down, and then we're going to primer it, and then we'll start painting it. So let's go. Alright guys, so I just got done sanding it down. It's a lot smoother, looks a little better. So we're gonna go ahead and start off with the primer. This is high heat as well, you can see right there. So let's go ahead and start priming this. I might do 3 to 4 coats, so let's go. Alright guys, so while we're waiting for the primer to dry, let's go ahead and torque these cam gears, the cam gear bolts down. So these are 41 foot-pounds. So to tighten these, I don't have these special tools, so I'm just going to use a bolt. So the reason I use a bolt, or you need a tool, is because when you tighten these, they will spin. So this will prevent it from spinning. So these are 41, so I'm going to tighten it to 41. So you see how it spinned? So now that I have the bolt there, it's not going to spin. So it is 41. That's 41. Let's double check. All right, cool. So now the bolt's stuck, right? No. Just reverse and it'll come right loose. And then for the other side, we're tightening it so it's going to spin this way. So you need to put the bolt up here. So just hold it. Cool. And now they are torqued. Alright guys, so I already went ahead and did the second coat. So let's go ahead and time this motor. So we're going to start off with the cam gears. As you can see, both cam gears have this up arrow. So this needs to be faced up like that. And there's going to be a marking on the teeth, as you can see right here and right here. So they need to be straight across, aligned with each other. And they need to be aligned with the mating surface of the valve cover and the head right there. So we need to move this one slightly up so it can be aligned with this side. So let's go ahead and start. So I'm going to move this one. I'm going to turn it slightly so it can be the same as this side. So I'm going to slightly move it right about there. So now that we got the cam gears out the way, we can move down to the crank pulley or the crank. So it's also pretty easy. So if you see this marking right here, it needs to be straight with this arrow right here. So when you move that to here, that will be top dead center. So let's go ahead and put the bolt on and then turn it to where this line right here goes here. So I'm going to tighten the bolt with my trusty impact here. So the reason why you want to tighten it with this and not the wrench is because if you turn it with the wrench and you tighten it, it's going to turn the crank. And with this, it's not going to turn. So you don't need to fully tighten it. Just tighten it just enough. Perfect. So now we can grab my wrench. Let's see if I could do this with one hand. And then turn it. Right. Should be right there. Alright, so now we can put on the timing belt. I just need to loosen the tensioner really quick. Just like that. Now it's spinning free. So there we go. Perfect. So now that the timing belt is on, as you can see, it's pretty loose. So to tighten it, I'm just going to push the tensioner up. So I'm going to use my long flat head right here. And then I'm just going to push up on the on the tensioner right here. So now when I hold it up, it's not loose anymore. So what we're gonna do is hold this and then tighten the tensioner bolt. Nice. So now that we tightened the tensioner bolt, it is not loose anymore. So then you're going to double check the markings again. So these two are still okay. And then the one down here is still aligned with this arrow. So that means you're good. So now the last step is to turn over the crank 2 times and double check the markings again. And if they are still good and supposed to be where they're at, then you're good. And that's it. All right, let's double check. So these two are perfect. And then down here at the crank, perfect. Aligned just how they're supposed to be. So the timing is good and we're done with the timing. Alright guys, so it's been a little over 20 minutes, so we're gonna go ahead and spray it with gloss clear. It is high heat as well, so let's go. Alright guys, so valve cover is done. I was able to get two coats of clear coat on here, 3 coats of white and 3 coats of primer. I'm going to let this sit here overnight, and then tomorrow I'm going to carve off the paint on the lettering, and hopefully that looks better. But valve cover is done, it's done being painted. And then for the motor is pretty much done too. No, I'm not going to put the turbo on, I just wanted to see how it looked. But crank pulley, it's done, it's torqued down. Cam gears is torqued down, timing belt is on, timed. Alternator, it's on, but nothing is fully bolted on yet. I still need to put the injectors, a bunch of miscellaneous stuff, but I'm going to call it here. So thank you guys for watching, and I'll catch you guys tomorrow.